In the heart of the sun-drenched Spanish countryside, a sprawling hacienda named Las Rosas sat nestled among rolling hills and ancient olive groves. It was the ancestral home of the mysterious and wealthy Don Alejandro de la Vega, a man whose name was whispered with a mix of awe and intrigue in the nearby villages. But our story isn't about him, not yet. It's about Isabella. Isabella was a journalist from the bustling city, armed with a sharp wit and an even sharper pen. She'd heard rumors of a priceless historical artifact, the legendary heart of Andalusia, a jewel said to be hidden somewhere within the walls of Las Rosas. The story was a ticket to a major career breakthrough, but Alejandro de la Vega was notoriously private, turning away every reporter who dared to approach his gates. So, Isabella devised a plan. A risky, audacious plan. She would go undercover. With her hair tied back in a simple bun and her city clothes replaced with a plain, modest dress, she arrived at the hacienda's service entrance, introducing herself as a humble country girl looking for work. She was hired as a maid. Her new life was a world away from deadlines and press conferences. Now, her days were filled with dusting antique furniture, polishing silver that had seen centuries of history, and trying her best to look inconspicuous. Every corner of the hacienda was a treasure trove of secrets. Tapestries depicted ancient battles, portraits of stone-faced ancestors watched her every move, and the library was a labyrinth of leather-bound books that smelled of time itself. Isabella searched for clues, for any hint of the fabled jewel. She eavesdropped on the staff's conversations, explored forgotten corridors during her breaks, and studied old maps she found tucked away in dusty drawers. But the heart of Andalusia remained elusive. And then there was Don Alejandro. He wasn't the reclusive old man she had imagined. He was young, with eyes the color of dark honey and a presence that commanded attention without a single word. He was often found riding his magnificent black stallion across the estate or quietly reading in the sunlit courtyard. He was kind to his staff, but there was a deep sadness in his eyes, a solitude that intrigued Isabella more than any jewel. One rainy afternoon, Isabella was tending to the roses in the greenhouse, her favorite part of the hacienda. Alejandro found her there, humming a soft melody. He surprised her by asking about the song. Flustered, she explained it was a lullaby her grandmother used to sing. This small moment broke the barrier between them. They started talking, first about flowers, then about books, music, and dreams. Isabella found herself torn. She was drawn to Alejandro, to the genuine, compassionate man beneath the wealthy exterior. He spoke of his love for the land, his duty to preserve his family's heritage, and the loneliness that came with it. She saw a side of him no one else did. Their conversations became the highlight of her day, stolen moments in the garden or late at night in the grand library. The line between her mission and her feelings began to blur. She learned that the stories of a priceless jewel were just that, stories. The true heart of Andalusia wasn't a gem, but a metaphor. It was a collection of rare historical documents detailing the region's rich history that Alejandro's family had protected for generations. The real treasure was the legacy of Las Rosas itself, and Alejandro was its guardian. As days turned into weeks, Isabella's guilt grew heavier. She was living a lie, deceiving the man she was falling in love with. He trusted her, confided in her, and saw her as a simple, honest maid. How could she tell him the truth? That she had come to his home under false pretenses, intending to expose his family's secrets to the world. One evening, under a sky full of stars, Alejandro took her to a hidden balcony overlooking the entire valley. He told her how much a presence had changed his life, bringing light into his solitary world. He confessed that he was falling for her. It was in that moment, with his heart laid bare, that Isabella knew she couldn't continue the charade. With tears in her eyes, she told him everything. She confessed her real name, her profession, and the reason she had come to Las Rosas. She expected anger, betrayal, and to be thrown out immediately. She watched as a storm of emotions crossed Alejandro's face: shock, hurt, and then something else: understanding. He was silent for a long time. Then, he looked at her and said that while her deception hurt him, he had seen the real Isabella beneath the maid's uniform. He had fallen for her spirit, her intelligence, and the kindness she showed to everyone. He saw that she, too, had fallen in love not with his wealth, but with the heart of his home. He made her a proposition. Instead of a sensationalist story about a hidden jewel, why not write the true story? The story of Las Rosas, its history, its people, and the legacy it represented. It would be a story of preservation and love for one's heritage. Isabella agreed. She put away her maid's uniform and brought out her reporter's notebook. She and Alejandro worked side by side, piecing together the incredible history of the heart of Andalusia. As they worked, their bond deepened, built now on a foundation of truth and mutual respect. Her story became a masterpiece, celebrated not for its sensationalism, but for its heart. It brought newfound respect for the cultural heritage of the region and for the man who protected it. Isabella found more than just a great story at Las Rosas. She found the truth, she found her purpose, and most importantly, she found love in the most unexpected of places. She came as a maid pretending to be someone else, but she left as herself, hand in hand with the owner of the hacienda, their two hearts now beating as one. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more. See you in the next video.